Whether you guys are here out of curiosity, out of habit, out of friendship, or as a long-term commitment, we are happy to welcome you. My name is Anna Maria Thorne, and I'm your co-celebrant for today's service. In the pulpit is our minister, Lori King Nelson. Our worship theme for July and August is welcome and inclusion. We hope you'll find meaning and comfort in the words and music offered during our service. We're especially pleased to greet those who have not been here before and hope that you feel the love and care that this beloved community has to offer. If you haven't yet done so, please sign in at our visitors table by the front door, where you can be placed on our mailing list to receive weekly emails and the monthly newsletter. For more information about us, please use the QR code on the back of the order of service. Following the service, we are going to have coffee and conversation in the library at the rear of the sanctuary. So now please settle comfortably for our musical prelude.
So my flight got in last night at 12:30. I was supposed to be home around 5 or so, and we got delayed and delayed and delayed. And I sat in airports around people for so much, and then had to come into the blistering heat last night after being in that lovely... And you know, if you know me, you know I either have a tissue in my hand or I am looking for a tissue because of my allergies. Not one time did I have an allergy issue while I was in Minnesota. Oh, it was just beautiful. And my friend said, well, you know, that's surprising because they're about to pick the corn. I have no idea what that meant. Like, how that would impact me. But I am so glad to be back and in air conditioning, so I'm glad to be back with y'all and back with you, Misha, and your beautiful music. And I'm so excited that Anna Maria is co-celebrant this morning. Let's call ourselves to worship. Let reconciliation be a channel to grace, a raw, personal treaty signed with a kiss. Let us all welcome with equal portions of mercy and goodwill. Let us worship together in peace.
We now invite you to rise in body or spirit for the chalice lighting, opening hymn, and spoken affirmation. Our chalice lighting words today come from Erica Hewitt. The chalice, as a symbol of Unitarian Universalism, arose as a beacon of hope in an atmosphere of tyranny. The chalice arose as a sign of promise that the marginalized would never be forgotten or ignored because they are beloved and precious from the perspective of the holy. This morning, we remember all of the people who have been told explicitly or implicitly through police violence or government policy, through deersion or dehumanization, that they are anything less than whole, anything less than beloved. As we light a chalice in our homes, may we make of our lives a beacon, a symbol of our promise to draw the circle wide, a sign that we will not rest until all means all. Now join us for our opening hymn, number 407. We're going to sit at the welcome table. Now, our affirmation words are in the order of service and also projected on the screens beside us. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve others in community, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with creation. Thus we do covenant with one another. Please be seated. The young and the young at heart are now invited to come up to the front of the chalice for our time for all ages.
Y'all were playing outside, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fun.
We were playing in the mud. You can see where we were playing in the mud.
You were playing in the mud. That's fun.
We're making mud balls.
We're building a giant mud puddle outside.
Oh,
A multi-week project.
that is so much fun and so necessary, right? It's necessary to play and to make mud puddles
So they can like
so the birds can have something to drink and to take a little bath in too.
Bird bath.
Clean their wings off. Yeah.
though it's muddy water. They're going to try to clear it out.
Well,
Car wash was very successful.
Yes, we're also making a car wash.
you did a car wash. Was this yesterday?
No, this was today with the toys outside.
Oh, a car wash with the toys.
Yeah, and it's a keeping bird bath is bird water place. It's a car wash in Honda Lake.
Ah. You have a question? What is it? I know, we're getting ready to look and see what's in the box. Yeah. So I just wanted to talk first about why it's so important to play and to be with your friends and play. You know, I was gone this whole last week, and my friend and I played every day, all day long. And then in the evenings, we would sit and watch movies and talk and then play games on our phones. And I was in Minnesota, No, there was AC up there. You play Minecraft, right?
I like to play Toga Boca and Minecraft. I love playing in the backyard and recently buying volleyball and
Yeah. So sometimes we have to find something a little bit different to play with.
Is it slime?
Huh? Yeah, you can keep it. Let's not open it yet.
I got this
Okay.
yesterday.
It's slime and you can't open it yet. All right?
Can you take the plastic off?
Let's wait to take the plastic off.
Please just take the plastic off.
No.
Not squeeze it. Is there toys inside the ball?
There's no toys inside the ball.
Slime.
So with the slime, well, we're not supposed to take the plastic off yet.
Just take it little off so that when I do take it off.
Okay. So you know the fun thing about slime.
Is there a trash can around here?
Thank you.
The fun thing about slime is you can tear it in half and you can let your friend play with half of it, right? And we can do that to, even if we have somebody we don't know very well, right? Sometimes we want to help somebody feel like they're included in our group. And y'all have a lot of energy this morning. You do. You're tired? Yeah, the two of y'all are tired. Yeah. Y'all are older, though. The older we get, the more tired we are. You stayed up late? Well, I think it's real important to take your toys and your games and stuff and share them with people you don't know very well, because then you can get to know them better, right? Then they feel included in your group, and we expand the circle of our friendship. And that's really nice. Do y'all try to do that when you are in school? Has schools?
I'm just lazy at school and I fall asleep having sleep. Yes, I do.
You do, of course. Yeah.
I just fall asleep.
Well, I want y'all to think about that. Now, don't take the slime to places where you might get in trouble for having it, because there are places where it's not appropriate, right? Yeah, the carpet is not appropriate.
Slime and carpet are not buddies.
It's not allowed.
It's not allowed in your house? I get it. I don't allow orange foods in my car, and there's a history behind that. Not even goldfish. If it's orange, you can't have it.
I mean, what about the red and green goldfish?
Oh, well, I guess red and green goldfish would be okay. I probably wouldn't be able to say anything about that because it's not orange. Yeah. But I want y'all to be thinking as you move through the week. I want y'all to be thinking about how you can include someone else in your fun, okay?
Okay.
All right. So let's sing these energetic people out of here, okay? Y'all have a great week. And next week we have the water ceremony.
The what?
The water ceremony. We have
Do we get wet?
no, you don't get wet. But you can bring water to add to the church water, okay? So remember to do that next week. Remember to bring water to add to the water.
Even others too.
Sure. You can, yes. Everyone can take 2 if they want to. All right.
This one, because it's so pretty.
Okay.
I can do
Oops. Maybe not the best choice of things to give them. But if that's the worst choice I make today, we're okay. Our reading this morning is a community call to action. In 2012, the Minneapolis City Council passed a groundbreaking resolution that honestly acknowledged the genocide, forced marches, and concentration camps endured by Dakota people, becoming the first governmental body to use such truthful language in an official document. This courageous act of truth-telling opened doors to healing that many thought would never open. It's important to understand the profound impact of honest language in official documents and why Dakota Elder Chris Matonunpa called it the most significant accomplishment of 2012. Each of us can follow this path toward reconciliation when we call upon cities, counties, and organizations across the Dakota homelands and beyond to draft and pass resolutions that honestly acknowledge the historical trauma inflicted upon Dakota people, commit to presenting Dakota perspectives in community discussions and education, pledge to promote the well-being and growth of Indigenous communities, and begin ongoing dialogue to address historical wrongs. Nunpa says that it's important to remember that you can apply all of these points to many groups. And as noted by him, the unspeakable has now become speakable. Let your community join in this movement of truth-telling and healing. Contact your local officials and community leaders to begin drafting a resolution that acknowledges our shared history and commits to a more just future. Every resolution passed is another step on the journey toward genuine reconciliation, a journey we ride together.
In our world, many voices are silenced. Many truths remain unspoken because the speaker fears rejection, judgment, or worse. Our financial offerings today help sustain this congregation as a place where all voices can be heard, where truth can be spoken without fear, where the vulnerable can be heard and met with compassion. We give in gratitude for this beloved community and with hope for a world where more voices can speak their truth. Your contributions will benefit the missions and operations of our church as well as outreach to the larger community. Each week, we share a portion of our undesignated cash offerings with a charitable or nonprofit group. Our Share the Plate recipient for July, August, and September is Eastside Ministries, an agency dedicated to providing food, clothing, and other essential items to our neighbors in need. For your convenience, you'll find a QR code on the back for making contributions on the order of service. This morning's offerings will now be gratefully received. Will the ushers please come forward?
That was magnificent. Thank you. At this time in our service, we pause to, we have a hymn.
Oh, we do.
We do. I'm so wrapped up in this beautiful music that we're just going to skip right over that. Will you join us in hymn number 301, Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky? And now, at this time in our service, we pause to honor and to give time and attention to those things most important to us. We gather here for healing and for peace in our hearts and in the world, and honor our time together with shared stories and news from the congregation. Each week, there is a journal outside the entrance to the sanctuary where you can write a message of memory or hope. We honor these messages by lighting these 3 candles here next to our chalice. Also, at any time during our service, you are welcome to come forward and light a candle in our meditation center next to the chalice. Today, from our book of memory and hope, we include Dale has been selling LGBTQ pins out front to raise money for LGBTQ Saves, and he only has a few left. All the money, every penny, is going to LGBTQ Saves, and I'm just real proud of him for doing this. So go out there after service and buy him out. We send out a big thank you to all the volunteers who helped to bring about a very fun and successful holistic fair here yesterday. Yay. I was getting play-by-play texts about it, and it sounds like it was just wonderful. And it brought a lot of people into our church, but it also raised money for our church that we can use for super important things like fixing the AC in Coleman Hall. Super important. Now let's find a quiet, comfortable position. Let your spine grow tall, yet relaxed. Rest your hands gently on your thighs or over your heart, whichever is more comfortable. Take 3 slow, deep breaths, letting go of tension with every exhale. Bring your awareness inward to your own heart and body. Acknowledge any past pains, mistakes, or some armor that you carried. Whisper inwardly, may I be peaceful. May I be healed. May I forgive myself. Picture someone with whom there is distance, friction, or hurt. Acknowledge that conflict often stems from mutual fear, pain, or misunderstanding. Offer the traditional phrases of reconciliation, letting them echo in your chest. May all the hurts, misunderstandings, and grievances between us be reconciled. Where I have caused pain, I ask for forgiveness. Where pain was caused to me, I offer release. Expand this vision outward to families, communities, and nations at odds. Visualize a warm, glowing light expanding from the center of your chest. See this light reach out to embrace your immediate circle, then neighbors and strangers. Extend this belonging to those who feel different, unseen, or excluded. Affirm silently. All beings belong to this human family. No one is outside the circle of compassion. May all people everywhere be included, respected, and free. Now gather your awareness back to the physical sensation of your breath. Feel the steady beat of your heart, resilient and open. Carry this quiet spirit of grace, reconciliation, and welcome out into your day. Let us now pause for a few moments of quiet meditation to hold and uplift the sorrows and celebrations, both spoken and unspoken, among us. And then Misha will lift our hearts with music. Thank you, Misha. Before I get started, I want to say that one of the things that my friend and I did together was watch several episodes of Twilight Zone that Alan and Marty Soul's father wrote. Yes, so wow, what a writer. And I had not had a chance to view them before, and oh, those are deep and dark. I urge you to look those up. Grandfather, I come to you this day in my humble way to offer prayers for the 38 Dakota who perished in Mankato in the year 1862. To the west, I pray to the Horse Nation, and to the north, I pray to the Elk people. To the east, I pray to the Buffalo Nation, and to the south, the Spirit people. To the heavens, I pray to the Great Spirit and to the Spotted Eagle. And below, I pray to Mother Earth to help us in this time of reconciliation. Grandfather, I offer these prayers in my humble way to all my relations. This prayer was composed by Amos Owen in honor of Norman Crooks and Hereditary Chief Ernest Wabasha for their efforts toward reconciliation among all people. 2026 is the 164th anniversary of the largest mass hanging in American history. Across what would become the United States, A continual genocide of indigenous people was occurring, with native people slaughtered and remnants of a once free and proud people confined to ever-shrinking reservations. Promised through U.S. treaties that they would be provided food, clothing, education, and autonomy in governing their own reservations. The problem, one of many, was that the U.S. made the treaty but had no intention of honoring the treaty. As the country moved steadily toward the Civil War, indigenous tribes were increasingly villainized by local settlers and the military sent to protect those settlers, ultimately facing the possibility of being shot on sight should they venture over the reservation boundaries in search of food. Buffalo herds, once an infinite source of food, clothing, shelter, tools, and sacred spiritual items, were now routinely decimated by the army and settlers. There were even groups sent by train to slaughter them. Some just decided on their own to join in on the slaughter, all sanctioned by the U.S. government to starve Plains tribes and force them onto reservations by destroying their primary food and cultural source. 30 to 60 million innocent buffalo left in heaping, rotting piles as a signpost of the future of a country purported to be built on freedom. By the 1880s, there were less than 1,000 of these magnificent and life-sustaining buffalo left to roam the Midwest plains. By the time President Lincoln began the fight to free enslaved people, the Dakota people, along with millions of other indigenous people, were being slaughtered, confined, and starved. Broken promises and extreme starvation led a group of Dakota warriors to attack white settlements. The attack on New Ulm, Minnesota, in August of 1862 led to a week of war and hundreds of deaths on both sides. After the fighting ended, a hasty military commission condemned over 300 Dakota men to death in rushed, unfair trials that lacked proper legal representation and were conducted in English. President Lincoln would personally review each death penalty case to separate those who took part in actual civilian massacres from those who merely fought in the military battles. Lincoln would ultimately commute the sentences of more than 260 prisoners, leaving 38 to face a death sentence by hanging. There was no examination of why these warriors were led to this action. A culture of fear, hatred, exclusion, and racism continued to grow, as the festering wounds of injustice tend to do. But there was something so different in this, as the Dakota people were moved once again further from their homelands. Their people scattered across the Midwest, and their cultural history slowly fading from memory as the weight of oppression became increasingly cruel and suffocating. Blame for substance abuse, crime, and an ever-evolving way of life lay, rightly so, on the white man, as distrust and anger became internalized and passed down as generational trauma. Then, in 2005, Jim Miller had a dream that just wouldn't let him go. Miller, a native spiritual leader, a Vietnam veteran, and direct descendant of one of the executed men, had suffered with generational trauma that was exacerbated by PTSD from his tours in the Vietnam War. Jim dreamed of the 38 Dakota warriors being hanged on a riverbank in Minnesota. And what made this dream even more unsettling was that Miller had never heard the history of his ancestors who fought and were executed during the U.S. Dakota War of 1862. Miller dreamed of seeing his ancestors on horseback, making the 330-mile journey from the Lower Brule, South Dakota reservation to the township of Mankato, Minnesota. And no matter how hard he tried to shake the images of this dream, it would not leave him. It was his wife who encouraged him to explore the hidden history behind his dream and allow that knowledge to set him and other Dakota on a journey of healing and reconciliation. Paying attention to his dream, Miller began to share his vision of a pilgrimage that would take a new generation of Dakota, warriors of a more spiritual sort, on a healing journey to confront old wounds that continued to hold so much pain for his people. Each day, friends stopped by asking to join the group planning to ride their horses on the 330-mile trek to Mankato. And unexpectedly, calls began coming in from Unitarian Universalist communities along the planned route, asking if they could host the riders and their horses along the way. And host they did. Hosting was probably an understatement. UU communities set up stations along the way, providing food, lodging, and activities that offered opportunities for dialogue, for taking responsibility, for validation, and most importantly, for making space where reconciliation could begin. Now, to be sure, there were those who rode from Lower Brule to Mankato that year whose hearts were so hardened by the generational trauma of the genocide of their people, whose fear and anger towards white people was so deep and embedded that even with the kindnesses of the UU congregations, they remained suspicious and guarded. Day after day, through blizzards, through towns that didn't welcome them, through every conceivable thing that could go wrong, our UU folks stood with them, determined to be a part of the healing process between the children of the Dakota and the children of those whose atrocities had been unspoken for more than a century. That first year, Jim Miller and his group on horseback encountered white people who asked to ride with them. Not a single one was turned away. They arrived in Mankato on December 26th with a strong resolve to speak out and share their history and begin in earnest a process of healing within their native community and within themselves. Each year after, they resolved to seek reconciliation with the white community because, and this was such a powerful thing to hear, because they understood that the generational trauma of their people impacted the white community too. White folk carried the weight of their ancestors' transgressions, and change could not occur without speaking both of these traumas out loud. You know, as I learned this history, I was not only struck by the ability and desire of the Dakota people to seek forgiveness for their actions, but they were doing the work, the emotional work necessary to offer forgiveness and reconciliation for both communities. And that our UU brethren were by their side to support them on this journey was such an integral part of that process. Radical reconciliation. which requires pushing oneself toward inclusion and a posture of welcome, means that we, all of us, must set aside our pride and anger and look with respect and love at those with whom there is history of pain and wrongdoing. We must look beyond the differences and see the humanity in each face and the truth of the past. Reconciliation asks us to slowly allow the old way to pass and embrace a new future that, while not perfect, is steered toward love and understanding and inclusion. It doesn't happen overnight. But just as Jim Miller dreamed of a journey toward a different healing future, so can we stay the course and support those, even here in our own church and our own community, and heal ourselves in the process. Miller showed his community that you could choose truth and eventually find justice. That justice has led to a stronger, prouder Dakota people, intent on uncovering and embracing their heritage and sharing their story to heal the wounds that have festered for so long. Jim Miller says, "We throw the sword into the dark. We drop the stone we held so long. No more the scowl, no more the spark. That turns a neighbor to a wrong. I see your face, I see the scar. I touch the truth we tried to hide. We meet beneath a quiet star and lay the ancient war aside." I want to honor the courage shown by these two people, the Dakotas and the whites, in their ongoing determined courage to heal insurmountable tragedy and wrongs and move forward as partners and one day as friends, showing all of us what is possible, even in the darkest of tragedy. I will be presenting a showing of Miller's documentary, Dakota 38, next month, and will invite all of us to engage in discussion centered on how our UU values can lead us to courageously support reconciliation efforts in our own communities. And may that always be so of the UU people. Will you rise in body or spirit and join us in our closing hymn, number 1028 in the Teal hymnal.
extinguishing words are by Craig Rowland. As we extinguish this chalice flame, may the warmth of its light remain within us, guiding our steps and our hearts. Let us carry forward the strength of this community, the courage to speak the truth, and the hope that transformation is possible. In each breath we take, may we remember that the work of love, justice, and healing is ours to continue, both here and beyond these walls. Go in peace and with the light of this gathering to illuminate your way.
All beings belong to this human family. No one is outside of the circle of compassion. May all people be included, respected, and free. May we be welcomers, includers, reconcilers. May we be peace bringers. We hope that you will stay for coffee and conversation in the library in the rear of the sanctuary.